Welcome, my fellow gamers. Today we're going to introduce a game filled with warlocks, vampires, ghosts, dinosaurs, angels and demons, elves, soldiers, animals, clerics, paladins, warriors, rogues, fairies, and even unicorns, and whatever mythical creature you can come up with. That's right. If you haven't guessed it yet, this game is known as Magic the Gathering, also known as MTG. This game is one of the most creative games in existence, containing tens of thousands of cards ever since its release in 1993. One of its best features is that this game is a game for everyone to enjoy and play. This game was founded by Richard Garfield, a man with a PhD in mathematics and a game creator. Inspired by the older role-playing game of Dungeons & Dragons, also known as D&D, he created MTG. After its creation, both Richard Garfield and MTG actually made it to the Adventure Gaming Hall of Fame. Interestingly enough, Richard Garfield already had fame genetics in his blood, as his great-great-grandfather, James Garfield, was the 20th President of the United States. Even his great-uncle created the paperclip for everyday use. Richard was inspired to take elements of history and create the game for certain elements in our everyday lives. Mana in Polynesian means life force, as it references to everyday nature being the origin and source of magic in everyday life. Uniquely, mana within these places, spirits, objects, and living creatures possess a magic and healing properties, as the game inspired land as such. Specifically, in Tahitian and Hawaiian cultures, mana being lost or gained through one's actions. A similar concept of karma. Mana is an internal force and also something that you can be completely surrounded by. Today, I'm going to teach any beginner that wanted to learn how to play a basic game of Magic using MTG's AI, Sparky. Do you remember how I said important mana was? For the most part, most Magic spells in this game must be cast with land, otherwise known as mana in this game. Let me explain. For anyone that wanted to learn how to play MTG Magic, I decided to show with one of my decks that I have custom made, and the best simple way to do it is a bot match, so that, as I'm explaining the rules of the game, it's actually a fictitious AI opponent versus someone that's waiting for you to play your turn. So with my custom deck, I'm going to play against the bot. I'm really excited to show my life gain deck. There's Sparky! So I'm going to be showing a little bit about this. First, we have land. This land helps me play any of my cards, and on the top right hand corner you see the cost of how much it costs. So for example, for this card I need 1 plains to play it, versus sometimes it has a number on the top right hand side, and that actually tells you that you need 2 colorless land or 2 of any land, in addition to sometimes it shows the cost of certain lands. So for this card, I need 2 plains and 2 other lands. It can also be a plains. Same with this one, but it's 3. So when you add it all together, this one needs 4 land, and this one needs 5, because 3 plus 2 plains is 5 land, 2 plus 2 is 4 lands. This one over here actually needs a mountain. I mixed a hint of red in order to play this deck. So I need 1 mountains, which is a fire land, and 1 plains. And the plains, they vary, but I find that plains is very well known for life gain, whereas fire is hasty and deals damage right away. And if you don't know what these terms mean, that's okay. Just know that there are 5 different types of land when you look at Magic and how to play it. My deck is surrounded by plains and a hint of mountain, and you can see that there are different art cards on the lands. This card's really cool to start off with. I'm really glad it's in my opening hand. This is a life gain card. So when I play one plains, you'll see that I will gain +1 for every life I gain. And then if I use 4 of my lands, moving forward in the game, I put 1/1 counters. That's my strength. And you'll see why that's important very soon. And then I can even bring a creature back from my graveyard. Now, what are all these things? And what's the purpose of the game? The purpose of the game is to win. And to win, you can do it in one or two ways. One way is to everyone starts with 20 life. And in order to get down to 0 or even more life, that's the objective. Who gets to 0 life first? If my opponent gets to 0 life first, that means I win the game. Or if my opponent gets 10 poison counters first, then I could win the game that way. 10 or more poison counters to be exact. Now, life gain is so great because it makes it much harder for my opponent to get me down to 0 life. So if I gained 5 life, I could have 25 life, and it makes it even harder for my opponent to get me or damage me. How can my opponent damage me? They can damage me in many ways. One, most commonly, is with a creature. A creature can deal damage to me. Another way is for them to cast a spell, and they can deal damage to me directly. Most of the time that's through fire. Fire, land, mana with mountains deal damage straight to me. And just to go nice and slow, I'm going to explain each card and what it's good for as we play the game. The best way to learn is to watch it. Now, this game is asking me, do I want to keep my current hand? This is like, if I were to hold these cards in my hand right now, this is what I have. I can mulligan if I didn't like what I had, or I can keep my 7 cards. The only problem with mulliganing is you have 1 less card to start the game. Here's how I like to see when to mulligan and when not to mulligan. I need to have at least 2 lands in my hand and cards that I can easily cast. I might not be able to cast Bard right away, but I like the fact I have 3 lands to start with because moving forward, I'll get to draw a card each and every turn. So since I have 3 lands, I'm going to keep my hand because I can cast my cleric class right away. This is a bit of a gamble because I don't have a mountain in my hand, but I think the odds are pretty good. The other thing I like is that I have this card. When I cast my land, I can shuffle my hand. So if I'm really stuck, I get a shuffle right here. So I'm going to keep my 7.
Let's get started.
So my opponent has a swamp. So they're going to be casting a lot of low cost cards for the most part, and I feel like the best way to explain a swamp are cards that help the other person lose. Are you a person that likes to play to win or for others to lose? Comment down below. I'm curious.
Doing great.
Okay, I'm curious to see what you'll say. Okay, Sparky, I didn't know you were gonna have a little bit of a, impatience. So here's my plains. Voila, I've casted my first mana in the game. And as you can see, this card is lighting up in blue, meaning I can cast it right now. So even though I can't gain life right now or counters, I'm going to cast it because when I do have cards that say I gain life, it's good to have. So I'm going to cast it right away. Now it's their turn because I can't attack. So as you can see, they have 2 swamps because they went first. They put their first swamp down, and you can only cast one land per turn unless your card says otherwise. What I like about this is you can read what each card does. So this is a human rogue. It's a 2/1. He does nothing, although you can see his power is 2, which is the first
Whoa.
number.
Oh, sorry. I thought I saw something.
Okay, and then 1 is his toughness. So there you go. You could see toughness is how much health he has, power is how much damage can he deal to me. So I'm going to cast another planes right now. What's nice is I have these reinforcements. I have a card that can double it, but as you can see, this card has flash, which means I don't have to wait for it to be my turn to cast it. I'm going to save this because this creature isn't really a threat to me. I will then press next, and then I'm going to end my turn. So as you can see, they cast another swamp, and they're casting a frog with 2 power and 3 in health. So this frog has more of a defense. I'm gonna pass. I don't need to cast my soldiers just yet. I'm not threatened by this. I'm gonna let them attack me. I'm gonna save this for later. My turn. So now I'm gonna cast another planes. I can take vengeance. So you see how the rogue is tapped, meaning it's tilted to the side. It's attacked. It can't defend now that it's tapped. I can actually destroy it. But this creature doesn't have a lot of power nor health, and it doesn't have any abilities that threaten me. So I'm going to continue.
Hey, I can see your hand.
Yeah, no, they can't see my hand. I'm going to end my turn. Wow, Sparky's more impatient than I thought. Pass. I'm not threatened still. I'm going to say pass. And pass. My turn. Okay, so this is pretty great because now I'm going to cast this card. There's an instant, and this is what I can afford. I can cast my first creature. This is a token. It's not in my hand, but I create it. It has 2 power, 2 toughness, and it has vigilance, meaning it doesn't tap. So it can defend and attack pretty much right away. This is what it's called when it taps, when it's grayed and to the side, but this creature doesn't do it because it has vigilance. Attacking doesn't cause a creature with vigilance to tap. But now I can cast my land. I need a shuffle anyways. Now since I have some colorless land, I need a mountain, so I'm going to have that tapped onto the field. That's my land, and I actually gained 2 life. Okay, you can see what just happened. They killed my vigilant creature with murder, and that's instant speed. That can happen at any time. What also just happened is they attacked me again, and instant cards can be played in the duration of my turn, unfortunately. So despite me not having land, I still have options. This card is an enchantment, and it allows me to have creatures, once they enter the battlefield, I gain a life. That's so great. So now I'm gonna summon my bard. I'm gonna gain 2 life because of this card. And then as you can see, oh, wow, they killed that one right away. Okay, so you can see they attacked. A reason why this card couldn't attack is it has summoning sickness. That's what those dark circles are for. It means it can't attack unless the card says haste. And this creature flies. It's a vampire that flies. So the moment I lose life, it gains more power and health. +1 on power, +1 on health.
Hey,
This creature, unless I have a creature that flies or something called reach, it reaches high to the sky to defend this vampire, I can't block this right now. But that's okay. I'm not too threatened right now. I'm gonna summon my war leader. Now, as soon as he attacks, I create 2 white cat tokens with something called lifelink, a way for me to gain life. So for every power that I have, it gains that much life. So watch this. This is going to be really creative. As you see, I have 5 lands right now. I have 4 plains and 1 mountain. That's 5 land. I'm going to summon my rescue retriever. It gives my cat soldier another +1/+1 from its 4/4. Now it's a 5/5. When it attacks, I create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. It means whatever damage they deal, I, the controller of them, gain that much life. So here I go, I'm gonna tap it. Now this creature is protected. Why? It's because of my retriever. It prevents all damage that would be dealt to other attacking soldiers I control. So even though I keep summoning these white cat creatures, they can die, but not my soldier, because that's a soldier card. So I'm going to attack with it now.
Keep going. You can do this.
As a result, that toughness was only 1, so that rogue did die. I cannot block a flyer right now. That's why it did damage immediately. And it's bringing the rogue back. Alright, now I'm going to summon what I think is absolutely vital and important. This is my Virtue of Loyalty. So now the right-hand side is relevant. It's an enchantment. And at the end of my turn, which is like end step, I put a 1/1 counter. 1 for power, 1 for toughness on each creature I control, and they untap. So you don't see this tap symbol that's happening right now. Now I'm protected with my cat soldier, so I'm gonna attack. And as you can see, I'm gaining life because they're attacking. The little heart symbol means lifelink. Do you see how they untapped and they gained a +1/+1? It makes them so much stronger. Now I do have flyers. Unfortunately, you can see I haven't summoned them yet, but I can do something pretty sweet. Watch this. Remember my destroy target tapped creature? I can destroy the flyer. Now I don't have to worry about it. And now I'm going to continue and summon my first strike. It means that my human soldier can hit first. And every time they play a land or a new creature, it's going to enter tapped, which is very advantageous to me. They can't even block right now with their new creatures or even use their land, which stinks for them. I'm going to then summon this, and with my puppy, my cat soldier is invincible right now. I'm gaining more health, you can see that, and it's doubling from this card. So it's already at 4. And there you go, boom. See how cool it is at the end of my end step for those to tap? Phenomenal. Now I'm gonna do something great here. I'm gonna do this card here. Whenever I gain life, put a 1/1 counter. Now my creatures are gonna be even stronger. So now she's a soldier, so I can attack with her and she'll be okay. I'm gonna attack with my cat soldier and he's gonna be okay. So attack. Now they can die, but these two cannot. Oh, and I can make it even stronger now that I summon that ability. So I'm gonna give her a little more oomph. and do it again. Do you see how she attacked first? Now everything follows through. And I gained more life because they attacked, so I get to do it again. And again. Look at that. Even my cat soldiers are very strong now. Oh my goodness. If it wasn't even better than this, I'm gonna summon my Soul Warden. This is a historic model deck, by the way. I'd like to say that this card and others aren't... there are many modes of Magic you could play. And historic means like you can kind of play any card in existence. Almost. But this card...
Whoa! Oh, sorry. Thought I saw something.
Sparky's upset that Sparky is losing. Anyways, this card isn't legal in all formats, but I'm gonna play my Soul Warden. She's a cleric, and whenever a creature from their side or my side enter the battlefield, I gain a life. And that includes this card, which is why I'm putting more counters on my creatures. And I'm gonna do it again. There are two ways I gained life, her and my enchantment. So I'm gonna make the Pride Mate a bit stronger. And now I'm gonna do it again with two more creatures. So it's gonna kind of like quadruple in a way. You see how many times you see how it's quadrupled, that number 4? I'm gonna make these really strong now. And I like to distribute my power evenly. Of course, that's a choice. It just depends on the playing format. Now, I'm just gonna attack with everything because they only have 2 life left. And chances are, they're not gonna block all this. 5 attackers. And again, since I summon more cat creatures, this ability kicks in again. And with this card, every time I gain life, a 1/1 counter goes on this guy, making him already a 12/12, my most powerful. That's insane. I love this combination the moment I made it. This was my first deck I ever made. In this app, anyways. Now, it didn't deal all the damage.
You've done it.
But you can see that's enough for someone to lose the game. And if you look at the battlefield, look, all my health had me at 61. That's very difficult to beat. Despite them being impatient, you can see how this game goes. Now, there's another way you can find out how to win a match, and I'd like to show you that right now. I'm really excited because I actually played an MTG player, like one of the employees. I was so excited. I was like, hello, hi. And I ended up winning with this deck. I also felt like they got unlucky with their shuffle. But this is my poison counter deck. This is another way that that you can win the game. You don't have to win by getting someone down to 0 life. You can actually also win by giving them 10 poison counters. So, oh wait, I don't want to go in my decks, but the deck I'm going to face them with is my custom deck named Poison Ivy. Allow me to demonstrate. Just gonna now play with the direct game of Poison Ivy. There it is. So I can now face... This is a triple mana and different manas. We have islands, which are blue. We have swamps, which are black. And we have forests, which are green. So now you'll see a different format of play and how I could win. These are dual lands. The only thing is, it's very hard to play a dual land. So this land's going to enter tapped, meaning I can't use it right away. But for this card, I gain a life as long as it enters. And I have a lot of dual cards with the same rule about gaining a life. Now I have a forest here. So this one I can play right away. This is called a basic land. This card is instant. I could play at any time as long as I have 2 lands untapped. That's another thing. It has to be untapped land. I can give my opponents a poison counter and draw a card, which is great when I'm a bit stuck. This card has flying. It's a flyer. It's a bat. It's a Phyrexian bat, which is a type of creature in the game. Toxic 1 means this creature poisons my opponents once. That's why it says Toxic 1. It poisons them once. Proliferating means everything with a counter increases. So if they're poisoned once, now they're poisoned twice. If my creature's a 1/1 and it gains a 1/1 counter, it's going to gain another 1/1 counter. So this ability is very strong. Choosing any number of permanents and or players, and they give another counter for each kind that is already there. This card allows me to just kind of do it again. Spells are not when you cast mana. Spells can be when you put a creature on the battlefield, when you give something counters. Like, for example, casting this creature is a spell. This instant is a spell. Gaining counters can be a spell. You'll see. So it will make more sense as the game goes on. And then this card is great because this card serves as multiple things. Number 1, it's a creature, spirit. Number 2, it doubles my counters on permanents, meaning a permanent is like a creature or a land, something that stays on the battlefield. That's a permanent. But if I were to give something 1/1 counter, it's going to double it now. And then if I tap it, so sometimes there's an advantage of tapping a creature. This one means that whatever strength and power it has, I actually gain that much more mana. So for example, it's a 1/1 now. So that means I have only 1 additional mana I can use by tapping it. But if it's a 3/3, then I'll have 3 additional mana. By looking at my hand right now, I have 3. That's pretty strong. I have an island, you see, a forest or an island. I have a forest and a swamp. That's very flexible. And then I can even draw a card, and I can even summon this right away. This is a very good hand for me, and I can even cast this. So I'm going to keep my hand.
It's a game, so remember to have fun.
I like playing my tapped lands right away, so I will. I gain a life. Now it's their turn. They just cast the plains, and they cast this cat. It has 1 in power and 2 in health. Now I'm gonna cast my dual land again. See how it's tapped? But I gained a life. I couldn't summon anything, so now it's their turn. They attacked because the cat couldn't attack before. It's called summoning sickness, but they attacked now. So they dealt 1 damage to me, and they summoned a 2/2 human cleric. Interesting, because it doesn't heal at all. Now I'm going to put my forest onto the field, my mana. So I have 2 choices. 1, I can summon my flyer, excuse me. I can summon my flyer, or I can cast this card, where each opponent gains a poison counter. I'm going to summon first my flyer. They don't have flyers, and they're tapped, meaning they can't destroy it, at least to my knowledge. Okay, so they did something pretty much like a slap in the face. Let me explain what they did. So they summoned this card during their turn. They tapped 2 of their mana, and now my bat can't attack and it can't block. That's why those creatures attacked right away. But the Charmed Stray couldn't because it has summoning sickness. This cat has lifelink, so for every 1 power it has, if it goes straight to me, yeah, okay. If it has 1 damage to me, then it gains that much life. So I'm gonna put another forest down. and I'm gonna give them a poison counter now and be able to draw another card. Unfortunately, I couldn't do anything. I didn't have enough land, aka mana, so they're just gonna attack me now. Now, do not fear, I'm gonna put a swamp down, and I'm gonna do a few things. I'm gonna make sure that I proliferate. This means they get another damage counter for sure. And I need 4 land to do so. I'm gonna make sure they gain another poison counter. That's what it means. Now, the cool thing about this is that when I summon it, it gives me this ability. I get to choose any one of these cards to use, which is great. I need a creature on the field, but this one I need 2. So I'm gonna take a chance here and cast this human wizard. For my next turn, I can play it. Now, right now, this isn't looking good for me because I can't block. And I have 7 life left on top of that. So I have 5 land, and I have to be very careful with what I choose to do. So I'm gonna choose, I need land more than anything, so I'm going to put Kami down. Because I put Kami down, I can't even use his tapped ability. That is Summoning Sickness, but I don't know how to get rid of this right now. I don't have a card that can. So unfortunately, oh, Kami might be a blocker for me right now. I'm gonna say next. You know what? I'm gonna actually use this card. It enchants Kami, giving it the poison of 2, and if it dies, it comes back to the battlefield. That's a great advantage for me right now. So they were smart to attack with everything, because that's 4 damage, 5, 6 damage, that's 7. But luckily, I have an ace up my sleeve, allowing me to defend the 3. So I click on my blocker and defend. And because of this card, it's gonna come back. This is great. I'm summoning my forest. Now, as you can see, I'm gonna summon this creature because it gives more counters on things, and that I absolutely need. I'm thinking, or I can summon, I have 6 land right now. I can either summon this guy or summon 2 of these. I think what I might do, because I need the defense, is summon more. So now, when I do a non-creature spell, I proliferate. Here's Kami again. So I can choose to have Kami attack. I'm not going to though, because I need it to defend. So no attacks. It might be that my creatures die to save me right now. Yeah, they're being very aggressive with their gameplay. But that's okay, because I can kill things, actually. First of all, I'm killing their lifelink right now. I'm then going to use Kami. I know Kami's going to... I think both Kamis are going to have to die in order for me to survive. So I'm getting the creatures that are the most powerful. Now this damage doesn't carry through, but my creatures will die with the exception of this one. Here we go. Oh no, they're gaining a +2/+2, so something's gonna die. Oh, the stray now. Oh dear. So now all my creatures died because of it. How awful, am I right? Oh goodness. Now this creature has Death Touch. It blocks flyers and it causes other creatures to die. Or I'm gonna try... Oh dear. So it looks like I'm actually gonna lose this game. I'm gonna have to try again.
Got
How
anything to eat over
unfortunate. No, not quite. I have another land ability giving me a 1/1 counter on it, so I'll tap the rest of my land. So I'm gonna cause something else to die. So they won. Unfortunately, but you can see how the poison counter's on the side. I'm gonna play one last time, and hopefully that will do it.
Well, it
Oh.
wasn't easy.
Oh, how unfortunate. I'll have to try again. Right. Well, so much for the perfect hand. I mean, you just never know what type of shuffle you'll get. I'm gonna do that again. And hopefully you can see me win the bot match. It's just... I can't even believe that I had lost against the bot, but c'est la vie. The bot just had strong things. I think the bot knows I know how to play too. Okay, good. I can choose more land. But unfortunately, this whole hand I have no creatures, but I have a lot of land. This is called mana flooded when I have too much land, but we'll see how the
This
game
looks like a good
goes.
spot. I love a good challenge.
Alright, so we're gonna start with my dual lands. Let's see what they do. Ah, they have forests. So that's not really life gain, but it's very strong in power and health most of the time. Now for variety, I'm going to summon my island. And I have a few things I can do. I'm going to first summon this, my spell book. It only works when I equip it. I'll show you what that means. I could summon another land, but I won't. Next. I'm going to end my turn here. No abilities, just a 2/2 elf warrior. That's all. 2 in power, 2 in health. I'm gonna put my forest down. And then I could unsummon it. I won't. It's not a threat. So I'll pray. I think, let's see, I do need more land. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get another land. Specifically, I think I'm gonna get a swamp. Yeah, a swamp would be great. It enters tapped. Oh no, enters in my hand, so that's pretty great. And I'm gonna play next. I can't really do too much right now, but I have another land in my hand. Resolve. There they have their woodland mystic, that elf druid. Pass. And I could just say it goes back in their hand, but I'm gonna save that for when I need it. Now I'm gonna play my swamp. And I have a few cards I could play. I'm gonna play this 1/5, which is great. It has that toxic 2, and it gains additional poison counters, which is what I want to show. Now I used all my lands, so I can't do any more. And it has summoning sickness, so I can't attack. This card has the ability of drawing a card the moment it enters. And watch this, I can block it. So I choose my blocker, and the damage won't go through because 5 is greater than 2. I won't kill them because I only have 1 in power, but I can block. I'm gonna enter again with my dual land. I gain a life. Hooray! And now with the extra land, I could either put this on, or I'm gonna have this trample toxic creature that proliferates every time it deals damage to the player. Look at this. I actually have 1 land left, so I have a choice. I'm gonna equip it, meaning I tap 1 land, and whenever this thing attacks, a spell is cast. Watch this. And I'm gonna keep my defenders, no attacks. So this creature, I absolutely want to return. It's looking strong, or kill. My choice. So here's what I'll do. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. Let's get a land down. I want one. I didn't get a land this turn. Do a forest. That's always pretty safe. Put my forest down. Then I'm going to destroy this creature. I don't like it. It adds counters to things, making its creature stronger. And I could return something, because I don't love this right now. I'll save it for its instant speed. I'll save it. Next. I'm then gonna try. Now they could kill my creature if they defend with everything, but we'll see how this works. I'm also going to attack with this creature, and they can't kill it. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna save this. I'm not gonna give it Death Touch, or could I? Death Touch is more my playstyle, so I'll give it Death Touch. Ah, so they did. They did want to kill it, but I'm gonna move this around. I'm gonna have it kill this one first, then this one, and then this will survive. But it gets rid of these creatures, and that's nice. See those poison counters? That's what I'm going for. Ah, this is a strong Vigilance Reach. It defends flyers, and it doesn't tap. I will unsummon this. Goodbye, goodbye. I will then tap this. And I'm gonna give it Death Touch on top. Oh no, I don't need to. Cancel. I'm gonna say next and attack. Now watch, it gives it 2 more poison counters. And I cast a spell. It has this one. Milling is putting cards in this graveyard. That's whenever you play a card, it goes here. But when it mills, the other player doesn't have a choice but to do it. I'm going to show you. I'm going to say, okay, they're getting rid of 2 of their cards. Another way for them to lose is for them to have no cards in their hand. So that's what I'm doing. I'll pay it. I can't pay it. Cancel. Oh, I see. I don't have enough islands. I can't do it. I'll end my turn. Okay, they're doing another Baluth. Pack Hunter. Does nothing now, but I don't love that it's there. Pass. Pass. I'm just going to allow it to attack me. Alright, so now I'm going to I could include a way to just gain health or really increase my counters. I'm going to put this down first. This creature has Death Touch. Whenever it attacks or blocks, it kills the creature, except for first strike. I'll explain that. When you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever my opponent, which is Sparky, draws a card, they lose 2. Now, I'm going to have it be so that they have to mill 2 cards. 2 cards go in their graveyard, and I draw a card. And luckily, I gain 2 life because I did that. And I gain another life for adding this tapped dual mana. So now, I press next. Now, I don't have enough damage to kill it, so I'm just going to leave it alone right now. No attacks. And end my turn. Boom, they lost 2 life. They summoned this spider again. So I'm gonna kill it. I can kill it, or I can summon this. I'm gonna increase my counters, I believe. It's a great defense anyways. I don't have enough to kill that spider, but I'm just gonna hang low this turn. No attacks. End my turn. Thought it did that. Boom, they lost 2 life. So I wonder what's gonna happen. Are they gonna get poison counters? Or... yeah, I don't know. Poison counters or go to 0. We'll see. I'm gonna kill that spider once and for all. And let's see, I can equip to something else. And I can have it gain Death Touch. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do something tricky. You see... oh, only this creature has Toxic. Only this creature can kill things. 3, 4, 5. All their creatures could be destroyed with Death Touch. So let's see what happens when I attack with both this one. I'm gonna attack with everything. Let's find out. Now it gains 2 poison counters,
Again, Planeswalker.
but double because of this. You see how they were poisoned? They reached 10 poison counters. My counters doubled because of this card and its ability. It doubles the poison counters just because it's on the field. So it says it has 2, but then it had 4. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Now, even though they had 3 life, they're out. They have 10 poison counters. Now, I can also demonstrate a mill deck. This will be my last game. Another way for them to lose, I know I mentioned there were 2, but there actually is another way to win. It's for the other player to mill out, which means all their cards go to the graveyard before they can play anything else. So I'm going to be showing... now this deck, I'm going to warn you, I need to switch out cards badly. So no judgment. I already have 3 cards. I'm like, okay, this has got to go, and I'm going to switch it. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'll demonstrate a mill deck. I literally called it Ruin Your Life because of this glorious card called Ruin Crab, which means every time I summon mana, the opponent takes 3 of their cards from their library, meaning their deck, and it goes straight in their graveyard. This is an evil deck, I think. Find out a little more about it.
Looks like a good spot for some practice.
Now I'm going to be low-key here. I'm going to first summon an island. Normally, I like to summon the cards that tap, but watch what happens. I summon an island, and boom, the most beautiful crab in all of existence enters. And I say that because of its ability. It's a defender, and it's amazing. So now, they summon this card. They were able to summon it for 2 land because they had a bird on the field, and they drew 2 cards. There's their flyer. Now watch what happens here. I'm going to summon this card. It enters. Boom. My opponent mills 3. And then I'm going to look for a land of my choice, which is another island based on the looks of things. And now it happens again. They milled 6. I'm not going to attack. Look, 0. No, not going to attack. No attacks. They're giving their creature +1/+1, and I can't even defend it. It flies. That's okay. I'm going to play a swamp now. Boom, mill 3 cards. So just to show you, I've discarded 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, not all of these cards. Doesn't count it, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of their cards are in their graveyard, and they have 40 right now in their hand. 40, 10, and they have 10 cards all in all. Now I'm gonna do something like this. Whenever I draw a card, each opponent mills 2. So now they're gonna mill even more cards. Nothing here, but I'm just setting up the mill base, is what I like to call it. Ooh, they have a defender, a 0/5 turtle. And now they're giving it a 1/1. They're making it attack or block extra. You see how I drew my first card? They milled another 2 cards. Now, I could do it again. Or I'm gonna put another creature down. I think. Oh, I'm gonna summon this, of course. So next time I summon my merfolk over here, I get another token, another merfolk. It's not in my hand, but it's created. No attacks. I better go quick here with my defense. So this creature gains counters. It gains more power and health. This is a dangerous creature. But as you can see, I'm milling them out. That's my plan. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been getting any land the past 2 turns. That is a disadvantage. But I can go for the throat, or I can summon something to mill even more. I think right now what I want to do more than anything is to get rid of their flyer. I can't defend that, so I'm gonna destroy it. No attacks, but things are gonna get more interesting next turn. So you can see this. Look, 16 cards already. Oh, they summoned a flyer. That's not good for me. I could block, but I won't. They mill 2. And now I'm gonna have them mill extra. I'm gonna first have them mill 4 cards. Yep, them. They're gonna mill another 4. They're down at like about 20, I believe. 22. And now, since I summoned my merfolk, watch what happens. I get another merfolk. Boom. There it is. This is my token. It wasn't in my hand, but I make one because of this card. No attacks. Ooh, I gotta get rid of that flyer. But how? Ooh, I can kill them with this. Island walk means as long as they have an island, the damage, they can't block it. It must go through. That's very powerful. Let's see what the best course of action is. I could go didn't say please, which I might. They mill 3 cards and they can't summon something else. So, let's see. I'm gonna press next. And just no attacks. I need to destroy the flyer. That is what I'm trying to do right now. Ooh, okay, they cast no spells. That was unfortunate. I was wondering if they did. I had a thing to back it up. Putting a mana down isn't a spell, so I have to be careful. Now this ability multiplies again because I put 1 swamp down. Thank goodness. Let's see what else I can do now. I'm gonna put this merfolk down. It gains plus another 1/1 because of this ability. Any of my merfolks get an extra counter, +1/+1. Now, if I wanted, all this damage is unblockable. Let's give this a try. You see that exclamation point? It means they can't block me because they have an island. That is Island Walk. Watch it. They can't block. They have this one card. Ooh! But they unsummoned my creature. Now they can defend. Oh, I didn't see that coming. How unfortunate. Oh, goodness. I have 35. They have 12 cards left. Let's see if I can make them get rid of it. I put a land. They're milling. How many cards do they have left? 6? Oh my goodness, I'm so close. I have no way to kill this thing, I don't believe. So you see, I'm so close to milling them out. If there's only a way I can mill them out 3 more times, I would have done it. But they're gonna kill me first. That was what I banked on. They had 3 cards. Oh dear. No tax. See, they're gonna kill me now. I have nothing to defend the flyer.
I was worried there for a minute.
Oh. But that's a really good example of how I mill someone out. Anyways. So you can see that these games really demonstrate the 3 different ways of winning. It would have been great if I actually won, but there are different ways and different varieties of ways to play, and that's why I deeply love this game. Is because you can see and experiment and play to your playstyle. It's just a way to connect with others, and like you really feel this sense of mana, this sense of magic, which is just a phenomenal concept to me. Anyways, my fellow gamers, together we unite. You'll be seeing me playing, but not explaining a lot. And I'll see you next Tuesday with another game, more decks, even more fun. Remember, my fellow gamers, together we unite. Have a wonderful day, everyone.